Good afternoon. We are so excited, and I know I always start this way, but we are really so excited to be here again. As Aldo said, I'm going to steal his phrase, which was, we are in season 1, episode 3, with Julia Montenegro in our mind. So we're so excited, Julia, to have you back, and excited to have you host this really incredible opportunity that we're having today, which is to talk to Camilla and to Luciana about a project that is so near and dear to all of our hearts. And this project is Sustainavate. And when we think back to 2019, when we were looking into what was missing for 2020, one of the things that we spent over, pretty much the entire year pondering about was, how do we bring together families so that they can be engaged in our community in relevant, meaningful, and purposeful projects, just like what we do with our students, just like what we propose to do with our students day in and day out. So how do we make parents part of this learning experience? And when we spoke about this, we really wanted to make the parent experience as relevant as possible, which meant that we wanted our parents to be involved in projects, and we wanted them to learn and grow and develop with us. And with that came this dream of developing Sustainavate. We brought together the words sustainability and innovation, and when we mix them together, we then combine them to form the word Sustainavate. And that's why we are here today to talk about, what is Sustainavate? Where is Sustainavate going? What is Sustainavate doing? How is it inspiring ourselves and our community as a whole? And how can you, as families, as parents, as community members, come together to support our Sustainavate initiatives so that as a community, we can be even stronger? I'm going to end by saying one last thing, right? I'm going to let Julia begin and take over. A lot of parents ask us, the number one question we get at Concept is, well, how do we not put our children in bubbles? How do we not have our children be part of this bubble that is perhaps distant from the reality of our country? And we always answer, families, it starts with you. It starts with your initiatives, with your commitments, with the way that you live and breathe your mission, vision, and values, and the Concept mission, vision, and values at your home. And Sustainavate is a bridge to make you be part of this community and be part of the change. So with that, I am going to hand it over to Julia so that she can interview Camilla and Luciana. And we're so super happy, Camilla, that as a parent, you're here to represent the Sustainavate community and that you've agreed to be part of this interview. So thank you so, so much. And Luciana is here as a sponsor of the Sustainavate team. So thank you, ladies. Thank you. And let's have a great show with Miss Julia Tavares. Thank you, Julia.
Hello, I'm Julia. I guess I always start off that way too. It's just going to become a habit, but I'm Julia. Enough about me already. So I want to know a little bit more about our guests. So would you like to please introduce yourselves?
Should I start? I can go, yeah. So my name is Camila Magnus. I'm a Concept mom. I have a three-year-old daughter. Her name is Maria, and she attends the early years program here at the São Paulo campus. And also I'm part of Sustainavate with Luciana.
Hello, everybody. Thank you, Julia, for welcoming us. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. I'm Luciana. As some of you know, I'm the head of design for Escola Concepts in Brazil. And I'm very happy to be sponsoring as a Concept representative in Sustainavate because that's the very core of our school when we think about design and sustainability and everything that goes around it. So very happy and excited to speak about something that we have so much passion for.
It is a pleasure to have both of you here. So I'm not going to waste any time. Let's just get right into the questions. So Priscilla and Luciana and Camila, all three of you have been talking a lot about Sustain Innovate. And I really want to know, what is Sustain Innovate?
So Sustainavate, when we started the whole thing in the beginning of the year, of the academic year, the idea was to have human-centered service design within schools. And for that, we also believe that it would be a great way for parents to be more engaged in the projects once they would go themselves through the same journey or similar journey as their children, they go in concept, right? So we started by learning the very principles of human-centered service design by IDEO, and we were able to meet once for me to explain how it works and how the workshop works and what would be the phases for us to go through implementation, prototyping, and so on. And by our second meeting, then the pandemic was overly spread. The school was already in virtual mode. And we were like, oh my God, what are we going to do now? But the initial idea was for the parents to have an immersive experience about human-centered service design. And the whole idea is for us to focus on developing services that will match with the needs of a group community. So when we talk about human-centered service design, it's all about you listening, right? Practicing the habits of mind, listening with understanding and empathy, because at times we pose ourselves as specialists and say that we know what's better for people. But when it comes to human-centered service design, you need to listen and observe, and then you will co-create. That's the thing about design. You co-create with that person, and then you observe whether your hypothesis or your prototype actually works. So that's pretty much our main goal. It was for the parents to understand, the different nuances of a project.
So it's really nice that you talked about, having our parents be in kind of the same journey as we are. I feel like it's really important, and also it's really fun. So I know that today we're here to talk about a specific project of yours. So now I'm going to switch languages just so you can, understand a little bit better. And I want to know, sobre o que é esse projeto?
Ótima pergunta, Júlia. A gente está aqui, então, para falar do nosso primeiro projeto dentro da plataforma Sustainavate. Esse primeiro projeto chama Conexão Amiga, e ele foi desenhado olhando para uma escola, especificamente, que é uma escola de jovens e adultos que não terminaram ainda o ensino fundamental. Essa escola fica aqui em São Paulo, no limite noroeste da cidade. A região chama Perus Anhanguera. A escola chama CIEJA Perus 1. Ela tem 1.500 alunos e desde que a pandemia começou, 60% a 70% dessa população de alunos perdeu o contato por completo com a escola, justamente por não ter acesso a uma comunicação, a um sinal de internet, por não ter conexão de internet. Então, o Conexão Amiga, ele foi desenhado para ajudar a lidar com esse desafio. Então, o nosso objetivo é prover acesso para esses alunos e garantir com isso que eles voltem a ter contato com a escola e que eles possam retomar os estudos.
I'm going to go back to English, and I want to know, how did you come up with this idea to help children in this school specifically? That's connecting both the questions already.
Yes, when it comes to our very first meeting, we had to have what we call a strategic problem, design problem. And we brainstormed about, an array of situations and topics. And one of the things that we all agreed in our very first workshop was that we wanted to focus on education and sustainability. And when the pandemic came and we decided, okay, we will continue virtually with the Sustainabate, we also thought, okay, are we going to continue with education? And it seemed to be just right, because while Concept began its journey into virtual school, we were in the same situation as all of the school in the whole world. And we looked like, here we are, when we have all the tools to develop a virtual school. What about those schools where they don't have as much, right? And what we can do, how can we use what we are learning in Sustainabate and practice by applying this skills, this new knowledge, right, to something that will bring people some sort of, will bring them contact to education, even though virtually. So we started looking for partners. So schools that would be willing to accept our help. So it was a long journey, because we found out it's not that easy, to go out there. And of course, the journey is great, right? Because you're learning, and then and the learning, you know, and there are all those nuances. So it was our main focus. So we all agreed that, okay, we would focus on education. How can we provide different services for people with different needs? Because we know that, we all learn differently. So why to provide the same service always?
So before I move on, I want to know, Camila, do you want to add anything?
Yeah, I think I'm going to talk about why we chose CIEJA Perus specifically, as the school we're going to help. But I think I might explain it in Portuguese, if you don't mind. A Júlia me perguntou se eu queria acrescentar alguma coisa. Eu acho que eu queria contar por que a gente escolheu essa escola específica, né? E eu acho que para nós do Sustainabate, tudo ficou muito claro que essa era a missão no dia que a gente conheceu a Fran. A Fran é a diretora do CIEJA Perus, e ela contou para a gente que nessa comunidade deles, que tem mais ou menos 1.500 alunos, a escola ela faz um papel que vai muito além só do estudo ou da educação, porque a gente está falando de uma escola de jovens e adultos, e de jovens e adultos muito vulneráveis. Então, a gente tem aí dentro desse grupo idosos, deficientes, uma comunidade muito grande de imigrantes e vários grupos marginalizados dentro da nossa sociedade. Então, na prática, a escola, ela é, além de um lugar de estudo, um lugar de exercício da vida em comunidade, de apoio emocional, de segurança alimentar, de cultura, de troca. Então, quando a gente pensa que 900, né, desses alunos estão sem contato com a escola, isso quer dizer, na prática, que essas pessoas estão privadas de necessidades muito básicas. Então, quando a gente entendeu a urgência dessa causa, a gente falou, é aí que a gente vai.
Okay, so I know that with projects, there are many different aspects you have to think of, but what I want to know is, can you tell me a pleasant surprise you had, something you weren't expecting when developing or during this project?
I think I'm going to answer that in Portuguese as well. Is that okay? Ok, so a Júlia me perguntou qual foi a melhor surpresa, né, que a gente teve nesse processo. Vamos ver se você concorda comigo, Lu, mas eu acho que para a gente a maior surpresa, e foi uma surpresa incrível, foi conhecer um parceiro que topou entrar com a gente nessa jornada, que é a Americanet. A Americanet é uma empresa que provê internet, por coincidência, na região que a escola está, e por maior coincidência ainda, depois que a gente começou a investigar e depois que eles já tinham topado em ajudar a gente descobriu que eles tinham até a fibra ótica instalada já na escola. E a Americanet foi uma surpresa incrível, porque eles toparam entrar com a gente nessa e doar os equipamentos para transformar o CIEJA Perus num provedor de internet para os seus alunos. Então, o que eles fizeram, e a gente está muito contente, porque esta semana eles instalaram uma antena no teto da escola. Eu vou até compartilhar minha tela aqui, que eu quero mostrar umas fotos para vocês. Será que vocês estão vendo a minha tela já? Sim?
Sim.
Legal. Então, aqui, ó, essa aqui é a antena que foi instalada pela Americanet essa semana e que é uma antena de internet, que é capaz de transmitir internet via rádio para todos os alunos que instalarem um aparelhinho, uma espécie de aparelhinho, uma antena no telhado das suas casas. Então, a nossa missão, a partir de agora, é angariar fundos para a gente conseguir comprar estas anteninhas e colocar no telhado de todos os alunos que estiverem na área de cobertura dessa primeira antena. Então, a Americanet foi um super parceiro, quero aproveitar até esse espaço para agradecer demais eles terem topado entrar com a gente nesse projeto e falar que hoje a gente lança essa nova fase da campanha, que é justamente pedir ajuda para que a gente consiga doação em dinheiro para comprar essas anteninhas. O que eu esqueci de falar, Júlia, se você me permite, é que a Fran, que eu citei na minha resposta anterior, queria muito estar aqui com a gente. Só que hoje, essa semana, aliás, é uma semana importante lá que eles estão numa convenção de professores e ela não podia estar aqui. Então, ela me pediu para transmitir um recadinho bem curto que eu quero compartilhar agora. Posso fazer isso? Então, vamos lá.
Olá, eu sou a Franciele Buzico Lima, sou diretora do CIEJA Perus. Estou passando rapidinho aqui nessa live para reforçar a importância desse projeto que vocês estão desenvolvendo com a nossa comunidade escolar. Comunidade essa que sempre procura a escola, sempre esteve muito presente, não só para as questões de aprendizagem, mas também para as questões relativas ao trabalho, à alimentação. E nesse momento de pandemia, com o nosso distanciamento social, nós estamos vendo todo o sofrimento pelo qual elas estão passando e gostaríamos muito, muito mesmo de atender a maior parte da comunidade com essa internet gratuita que vocês vão possibilitar, pois isso vai garantir que eles não estejam em tanta vulnerabilidade como estão nesse momento. Obrigada.
Obrigada.
So I'd like to say thank you for showing us that presentation. Sometimes we forget just to acknowledge how fun it has been. You know, we all have our challenges, but then we forget, look at how cool that was. And so thank you for sharing with us that video. So hi, Frem, if you're watching this. And now moving on, it's the other side of the project, because I know we have our pleasant surprises, but we also have our challenges, and I want to know what your main challenges were.
Yeah, I think connecting to what Camila was saying, right? Like we had, like, of course we had pleasant surprises, but then again, one of the things that I would say that our main challenge was how to keep going, right? How to keep ourselves motivated and engaged when we are all facing a pandemic for the very first time. So I would say that the same thing that perhaps felt like a challenge, it was also something that made us grow. So, for example, it's a great challenge for us to engage people because, as the saying goes, everybody's facing a battle of which we don't know of. So that was also a great challenge. Also, the challenge of reaching out for the schools. Of course, we are very, very lucky that we were able to start this partnership with Fran and CIEJA. But prior to that, we have tried other schools and we were not as lucky. sometimes we would be waiting, or we would schedule a meeting, and then we would be waiting, and people would be rescheduling. People wouldn't really answer to our surveys. We sent out a survey to many schools, but people wouldn't answer. Sometimes we were thinking, perhaps they think like it's too good to be true that somebody is trying to help amidst the pandemic, right? So that was one of the challenges. And of course, it's so new for everyone, right? And how to find the strength to go on and to be motivated when we are all learning, you know? We are all learning how to learn again. So, but then again, I wouldn't see that as a challenge. I would see also as a pleasant surprise, because in the midst of the winter, as it's a saying, we found this invincible summer within all of us. So for that, I'm very grateful.
If I can add something, a gente está falando sobre desafios, e eu acho que um dos grandes desafios que a gente também tem tido é aprender como nos comunicar com a nossa comunidade Concept. A gente sabe que a gente está no meio de uma pandemia e que a vida está turbulenta, atribulada, atípica, e a gente tem tido bastante dificuldade em entender quais são os melhores caminhos para contar sobre o projeto, para pedir as ajudas, para engajar as pessoas. Então, estamos aprendendo muito, né, nesse processo. Eu acho que é um processo de tentativa e erro para a gente também. Fizemos várias tentativas frustradas, outras menos, e estamos aí na batalha para entender os melhores caminhos, e é por isso que eu te agradeço muito pelo convite de vir aqui hoje, porque eu acho que essa pode ser uma plataforma muito importante para a gente lançar a nossa vaquinha para a compra das antenas e para falar sobre esse projeto e pedir ajuda das pessoas, como elas puderem nos ajudar. So thanks again for having us here today.
So, Luciana, you talked about how having to transition your project from, having your meetings face-to-face and then having to suddenly change everything to a computer. You said that you looked at it as a pleasant surprise because you grew, and also a little bit of a challenge. So I know that in challenges, we have to persist and we have to continue. And that's a habit of mine that I use. I persist. But I want to know if you have any different habit of minds that you'd like to share.
I think I had to practice and try to really apply almost all of them throughout this journey. Of course, managing my impulsivity whenever I felt frustrated that things were not working. Also striving for accuracy and communicating with clarity and precision. Perhaps they were of utmost importance, because when I'm thinking about, for example, communicating with clarity and precision, I can give an example. For example, when we decided that we were going with CIEJA, when you're talking about design and service design, you need to understand the whole journey, right, of the process. And while looking into the whole journey and the process, we wanted to, do everything. We wanted to, for example, if we are thinking about the fact that they don't have internet, right? But then again, you're thinking, they need a device. Okay, so let's raise a campaign for the devices. Then we're thinking, they get the devices, but how are they going to connect with the internet if they don't have the connection home? There is that point as well, but they need a modem. Do they not have home? So there are so many other things, and okay, let's solve them all. And then we were thinking like, no, this is not clarity. We need to see what exactly we need to do and start from there. So in that sense, it's managing our impulsivity to do everything at once and striving for accuracy while communicating with clarity and precision. It was so important. And I think practicing that and learning, every day with that brought us here, right? So I think it's such a powerful journey for all of us, because when I look back, and saying that, you know, all these people that are still here, we're in September, it started in March, and still motivated to continue. And of course, the initial plan was for us to meet twice a month. And nowadays we have our meeting every week and we talk every day. So you see that people are really engaged when there is a common goal. So I believe we were only able to go as far because we all believe that, you know, we have the habits of mind there, you know, supporting our actions. So I would say that they were very, very, very important to our, you know, our ongoing trials and errors and success, small victories every day.
So I'm going to ask if Camilla can also share hers, because I know that we all use different habits of mind, and I think it's important to know if she has any different ones she can share.
Sure. I agree with Luciana that we had to use many of them, probably all of them. But if I have to pick like two, I would pick thinking flexibly and probably creating, innovating, imagining, innovating, right? I'm a new mom, so help me out here. And I can tell you a small story that can illustrate that, but again, I think I'm gonna switch to Portuguese, if you don't mind. Eu estava contando aqui para a Júlia que dos habits of mind, eu acho que o pensar com flexibilidade e criar, inovar e imaginar são provavelmente os que a gente mais usou nesse projeto, porque a gente teve muitos desafios inesperados. Então, o mais recente, por exemplo, foi que quando a gente instalou a antena que eu acabei de mostrar, essa antena ela cobre uma área específica do bairro, né? Ela tem uma área de cobertura. Então, a nossa próxima pergunta é: quantos dos alunos, dos 1.500, moram nesta área de cobertura? Porque essa é a nossa primeira onda da campanha. E quando a gente começou a conversar com a escola para a gente fazer esse mapeamento, a gente percebeu que a escola não tinha um sistema capaz de gerar para a gente uma lista de todos os alunos com todos os endereços, porque eles têm um sistema muito travado da prefeitura, enfim. Então, a gente ficou muito surpresas, porque essa não era um desafio que a gente estava esperando. Então, entendemos e pensamos, bom, então como é que a gente vai lidar com isso? E agora estamos trabalhando com a escola para criar um novo sistema simples, uma planilha, que vai ser preenchida por todos os professores e por todos os alunos e turmas, para que a gente consiga ter um banco de dados que funcione para a gente ir fazendo esse mapeamento ao longo das diversas ondas da campanha. Então, só para ilustrar que quando a gente mergulha no problema e vai avançando no projeto, os desafios vão aparecendo e nunca é exatamente como a gente esperava que ia ser, e a gente tem que aprender a lidar com isso.
So this next question, maybe it's going to be a little harder to answer because we don't know, we never know. I want to know, how do you see this project in the future? Because you talked about getting the devices and maybe developing this, this list maybe to get more information and see other ways you can help, or where you can put the other antenna. I'm not sure, but I want to know how you see this project going in the future, or how you want to expand it.
Nós estamos muito otimistas e muito ambiciosas, Júlia. Então, a gente quer expandir muito. A gente tem hoje uma primeira antena no telhado da escola, e esta antena cobre uma primeira área, né, do bairro, onde estão os alunos da escola CIEJA Perus 1. Então, hoje, o nosso desafio é angariar fundos para comprar as anteninhas que tem que ir para os telhados dos alunos que moram nesta área. Isso é o que eu estou chamando de onda 1 da campanha. Isso feito, e a gente acha que a gente vai conseguir isso com agilidade, a gente quer expandir essa área de cobertura. Então, estamos já estudando aonde estaria uma segunda antena para cobrir uma outra região do bairro que também tem uma quantidade grande de alunos que precisam desse serviço, e estamos aprendendo nesse processo. Eu acho que esta é uma causa que não tem validade, que por mais que a gente tenha o fim da pandemia, né, no futuro, a gente está falando de conexão para um público que sempre vai precisar ter internet para necessidades muito básicas, né? A gente está falando de deficientes, idosos, vulneráveis. Então, essa é uma causa que eu tenho muito próxima do meu coração, porque eu acredito que ela tem tudo para continuar e expandir, e quem sabe expandir até para outras escolas no futuro, e a gente angariar outros parceiros, outras empresas, e com isso conseguir criar mais acesso à internet para a gente que precisa.
Lu, do you want to add anything?
Getting back to how do we see the project like moving on and other maturing phases. One thing that for us as a school, since the very beginning, the idea with the having parents experiencing what is human-centered service design, it's all about understanding the other. It's understanding that the basic needs and who playing our role in society. And when we think about what we are learning with Sustainavate, I think that we also want to model examples of good practices. And we want to show people that design is needed in every area of one's life. And when we think about design, we think about systems, right? And what Camila shared about, finding out that they needed this, this whole system for them to get to know which students were in what area. And this is all about human-centered service design. It's for you listening to the other, not you thinking that you know what the other needs. So the more we go with the project, the more we believe that more people should join because it's a great learning experience. And as for the future, we hope that other schools will be inspired by our work and start to think about how they could also use design to better the lives of people around them. So that's what we hope. So it might sound like, oh, listen, it's quite ambitious, but it's one drop at the sea at a time, right? And then you see how you can impact the others. So I believe this will generate a lot of, when I say more like long-term impact. But that's what lifelong learning is all about, right? It's about long-term and impacting in a way that you feel good about helping the other.
So far we've talked about challenges, pleasant surprises, habits of mind, the future maybe, and I've learned something from books and movies and even real life that we always take a little something from the experiences we have. We take a little lesson, and I know that each person takes a different lesson from maybe even the same experience. And I want to know, how has this project affected you?
Okay, so this project has affected me in many different ways, to be honest. I'm back to Portuguese again. A Júlia está me perguntando como é que esse projeto me afetou. Eu acho que para mim a lição mais importante, e eu aposto que as minhas colegas de Sustainavate que não estão aqui hoje vão concordar, é que toda vez que a gente fala com a Fran e fala com o pessoal do CIEJA Perus, a gente percebe que dentro do nosso alcance, dos nossos recursos, do nosso conhecimento, dos nossos contatos, está a possibilidade real de apoiar essas pessoas e de talvez pegar uma realidade que é muito dura e muito diferente da nossa e fazer ela um pouco melhor. Então, acho que esse é um exercício de cidadania, eu fico até emocionada, que eu acho incrível e que eu quero muito para mim, para minha filha e para a comunidade.
Lou, do you want to tell us how?
I think it's like I'm also trying to keep myself like because this project, it's as
Already
Camila,
provided the live, so you're free to do whatever you want now.
it has touched me. Actually, I have to say that Sustainnovate from the very beginning, it was like a dream coming true. It's because back in Finland, that's something that I used to work with. You know, the whole thing about service design. It's about it's about, you know, kind of shaping your environment, you know, with people. You know, it's about sense of agency, you know, bringing people together, you know, for a common cause, and making people feel comfortable in a sense of, I belong here. If I belong here, I also want to improve this place. And when we think about systems, it's like we live in São Paulo. So, and I like this place and I feel I belong here. But when we think about well-being, my well-being is compromised if the well-being of someone else is also compromised. So I'm not feeling good enough until somebody else is also feeling good. So what this pandemic has brought is a sense of collectiveness. You know, that's what I think about Sustainnovate and about Concept. And when I look back about the actions that Concept has been doing, aside from our main core, that's like teaching and learning, it's also about like, we are looking at the teaching and learn, but we are also looking at people who are outside of our community and what we can do while we're learning all about this. So I think that the main learning is that, and one thing that I'm very happy is doing something I love. It's to listen to people's needs. I love doing that. It's like, and whenever someone is saying something and I'm already thinking like, how can I solve this? I feel good. I feel good seeing that. I remember when Fran started speaking about their needs and about, you know, about how these people, for example, the ones that came from Haiti and Venezuela, and saying that, you know, they all had a life before. And our work here by Conexão Amiga, by a friend connection, is to allow these people to a life that we all have. So why not? So why not to think about the other as, you know, as this whole connection. So that's something that I learned, is that you need to always try, you know, and the smallest the action, it will always have a huge impact on someone else's life. So I think that this moment that we are living right now, it's make us more human, because we are, you know, we are seeing the other. And the more, even though we are all socially distant and so on, I think I have never felt as connected as I feel when I am surrounded by people who, hey, let's do this. Okay, we are going to try our best, and we are, you know, and we are going to enable these people to have, you know, basic needs. And that's what I love about Sustainnovate. It's what I love about what we are doing in Concept, and these mothers like Camila and all the other ones that are like, let's do this, and everyone around us. So that's a great learning, and I hope that other people will be able to experience it as well. As Sustainnovate is, it's not a project that it has an you know, a beginning and an end. It will go throughout the year. So I hope that other families will also be able to experience what it feels like to go into this journey, and then they'll see that their kids are also, you know, as happy as they are throughout this experience, because learning is fun, you know, even though sometimes it's painful, you know, it's so many frustrations, but that's the learning that you get at the end of the day.
Wow. This is an amazing project, and I'm really happy that you're here to share it with us all about it, because sometimes it's like during these lives, some people don't see the backstage, but it's all there. We're not hiding it from anyone. We meet up, we talk, we make the questions. It's not right now, we're not improvising. And it's cool to see the backstage of the projects of any project really, because it's really cool to understand how people went through different challenges to get to the project they have right now and how it has affected them and what they're taking from this project really. And I'm sure we all want to be a part of that. So for my last question, I want to know, how can the Escola Concept community help you during this project?
That's a great question, Julia. As I said before, we're launching now a link. Eu estou falando para a Júlia que hoje a gente está lançando uma fase nova da campanha, que eu acho que o link deve estar aqui na descrição dessa live já, que é uma vaquinha online para que a gente possa comprar as antenas para instalar nos telhados dos alunos e, com isso, finalmente conectar nessa primeira onda algumas famílias a essa primeira antena. Então, quem puder contribuir, as doações já estão rolando, agradecemos demais. E acho que na descrição deve ter também a nossa landing page, então quem tiver interesse em saber mais sobre o projeto ou quiser nos ajudar de alguma forma, estamos abertos e pedindo ajuda, e é isso.
Is there anything else you'd like to say?
Yeah, so just adding to what Camila said, I saw now there in the chat in YouTube, people are asking a few questions. I think like Isabella D'Amato, she asked about whether when the school will go back to campus, whether we will continue this work. Yes, Isabella, for sure. So everybody's more than welcome to join us, to learn more about Sustainavate, learn more about human-centered service design. It's like the more the merrier. So you all feel free to contact us or to talk to your teachers, and then we can arrange something. And also we will have in here in the description, we will have the landing page link, and also for where we have more information how you can contribute. And I'm sure we have such a great community that very, very soon we'll be able to give like very great news that, hey, we were able to get to our goal. So and thank you so much, Julia, for having us and for giving us this space to talk about such a great and meaningful project for all of us.
Thank you so much. I know I say this in every interview, but I'm not going to stop saying it. Every time I do these interviews, which so far has been 3, still counts, my cheeks hurt so bad from smiling because I'm always so happy to hear about your projects. It's just really cool to hear, to, see the backstage, like I said. And I'm really grateful that you guys were here to share that with us. So, yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much, Julia.
And Julia, we have no words to thank you for your leadership and your inspiration, and for being so open to learning and to giving to us as well. So we really want to thank you for your time, your patience, your learning, the opportunities that you've allowed us to engage in with you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And Camila and Luciana, what an inspirational talk. Wow. I keep thinking about just like the idea of planting that seed of beginning something, right? Like Concept was a dream, and we planted that seed way back when. And now when we see Concept happening, and every time we see all the actions that are going in, that are happening in our community, and when we see and observe all the project that students are doing, that really fills our hearts. And when we now observe the second layer and seeing parents being engaged, and parents learning, and parents doing, and parents really making a difference, that warms our hearts even further, because that then means that we have now achieved a different level of understanding and commitment within our community, where we have our children teaching our parents, because I'm sure that your biggest inspiration comes from your daughter every day. And I'm sure that your daughter is the one that motivates and inspires you to want to learn more and to grow and to give back and to be part of such a effervescent community. So with that, we can only thank our children, because that's what we expect from them, is that they are the change makers and the doers in our world. And then when we see parents like yourself becoming so engaged and so involved and so passionate about a project that started at school, that makes us tear up as well. I know that you teared up during the interview and that you got emotional, but it makes us tear up, because the whole chain, this whole chain of sustainability, really, where we are creating these sustainable environments, not just in the worlds that we live in, but in the worlds that other people live in. And we want to impact all of those worlds, no matter where they are. So Camila, thank you so much. And you have beautiful English. I don't know why you kept switching to Portuguese. Your English is beautiful. So
I just thought that people would understand me better if I speak Portuguese. That's why. Yeah.
But your English is just gorgeous. So it was beautiful to listen to you speaking about Sustainavate and how passionate you were about the project. And Luciana, I don't think I even have to say this, your passion and your commitment to the school and to this project are also beyond words. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, all of you. And we hope that more parents get involved in Sustainavate. Camila, we hope that you were able to inspire and bring this joy and spark into the lives of all of our other families, so that they too can become involved, either as involved as you are, or maybe less involved, but just part of the whole bigger community. So there's an opportunity for everybody out there. Thank you. And Julia, again, we hope to see you again in 2 weeks, and with another cool interview that I'm sure you have cooking for us already. Thank your parents for allowing you to do this. And we want to thank our greater Concept community for just being a great audience and for being great community members. And we can't wait to have you guys all back on campus, hopefully very soon. So thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Bye.